Get ready for the next incredible podcast experience from Unfiltered Studios. Introducing The Sleevy G Show, hosted by the one and only fun-loving Sleevy G, Alex Gomez from Playlist Wars. This show is a jam-packed adventure, offering a little something for everyone. Dive into the world of sports, groove to the music, explore the latest in movies, and level up with video game discussions. But that's not all. Sleevy G also shines a spotlight on local businesses and so much more, making each episode a delightful surprise. So, don't miss out on the excitement. Tune in to The Sleevy G Show and discover the magic waiting for you. Subscribe now and let the good times roll.
Hey, babes. Babes? Babes? No, babes. Okay, well, welcome to Refiltered, everybody. There's no Beebs. I guess he got mad at me for telling too many offensive religious and or sexual jokes, I guess. This is lonely. Whatever will I do? Anyhow, Beebs isn't here. He's on sabbatical, as they call it in the religious community, sabbatical. And if you ever need any more information of that, your Twitter is at everybody's disposal, people. Okay, it's Beebs UNF Pod. Light him up. Stop fucking asking me. You know, not that anybody asked me yet, but if you did, go fuck yourself. Anyhow, but that's what's going on here. But we're juiced down here in Jacksonville, Florida. I will tell you, because the Atlanta Braves just defeated the Philadelphia Phillies in Game 2 of the National League Division Series, 5-4. The Keb called it. Phone's blowing up. Just had to jump on here and tell you guys that. Thanks. Have a good week. I'm just kidding. But Atlanta Braves there. So this is Refiltered. Beebs is out. Whatever will I do? The show must go on, as they say. So the show does go on. I don't know if you know. We only say it every friggin' week. But we have this thing called Unfiltered Studios, you know, and we got some really good friends over there, and so the way we're going to go forward until Beebs decides to come back or not to come back or whatever he's doing, we're going to go not guests, we're going to go guest hosts. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, guests are just guests, but guest hosts probably have their own show somewhere, and they know what they're doing. So you don't have to sit here, because I'm pretty sure there's some people out there going, fuck, Beebs is gone now. I got to listen to this clown for an hour. You know, now we tried that. We're not doing that again. We tried that. Trust me, I don't like it any more than you do. Okay. But we do have a guest host this week. Our guest host is no stranger to the program. No stranger to the program, but it's been a while since they've been on. So I made the phone call. We got him on here. Our guest host is a host of a very popular program, ranked if you're in good pods, ranked in the top million, you know, top million of podcasts. Very, very, very insightful person. My guest this week, my guest host this week, is none other than, you know, did I tell you that the Atlanta Braves beat the Philadelphia Phillies 5-4 tonight? Game 2, National League Division Series, Truist Park God's country, Atlanta, Georgia. And to a special somebody out there, Atlanta, Georgia is God's country. Did I tell you that? No, I didn't tell you that? Okay. My guest host this week is none other than the host of Pedals of Support, Mama D. How you doing?
Hi, Kev. How are you doing? Hi, Mr. DeKeb. We'll go with Mr. DeKeb tonight.
Mr. DeKeb,
Mr.
if you're nasty.
That's right.
You know.
You would think having me on would like cut back on the language, but I think I counted at least 3 to 4 F-bombs before you even entered me in. So.
I was thinking about that, and I was excited. I said, I'm going to get on with Mama D tonight, and I can cuss.
Well, so can Mama D.
Yeah, at will.
That's right. I like that. When I could be a little unfiltered, unrefiltered. So it works out.
Yeah. So you're taking the place of Beebs permanently. That's great of you. I'm just kidding.
Am I? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say that this is why, we talk about like networks and everything. And this is one of those benefits of being in a network. And Unfiltered Studio is just awesome because you needed somebody and all you did was ask me. And I know in the past we recorded one and I love what we recorded, but I want to re-record it. And it's nice when you can just send out a message or a text and say, I don't like that. Can we redo it or can we add to it or something? And that's the benefit of a network. So if you're looking for a network, we're pretty cool.
I think let's talk about that for a second. I think, by the way, let's welcome the Sleepy G Show to Unfiltered Studios.
I am so happy. He is wonderful.
I feel that me and you are kind of the proponents of that.
We're the parents.
Yeah, because you introduced me and him.
Yes.
I
knew it would be a great match, so I'm glad it worked out the way it did.
We had a great time on his podcast, and he's coming on this program sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
And but me and it had a great time. Just when you talk to those people, like me and you do it all the time, where it just kind of flows.
Yes.
And then you have some interviews that you do where it's like pulling teeth. And you just if you want a good example, go listen to the Kev Unfiltered where I had this comedian on. His name escapes my mind right now, Sean something or another. And it was just like, I was just asking him a question. I'm like, dude, are you a comic? Because comics typically, go figure, like to hear themselves talk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, it's the comfort. And that's the nice thing,
Sure.
like with the network, is that we get really comfortable with each other because we have like all these side chats. And then, I always say nobody knows who I am except for like 5 people, like really know what I look like, know my real name, and you're one of them. And that is nice because it is a lot more comfortable. Not that I don't love my other indie podcast friends, but there's something about the family that makes it special.
And I'll put this out there. If people want to know your real name, all you got to do is go to stupidhistory.net and order 1 million Stupid History books.
If I get a cut of that, we can discuss how we can. I'll drop the anonymity for a cut of that. So.
Yeah, 1 million copies, hardback copies.
Mm-hmm,
Don't go on there and order the Kindle. 1 million hardback copies of the Stupid History book, and the anonymity might
goes out the door. It goes out the door then.
But we do want to welcome Sleepy G to the Unfiltered Studios. And for those of you, too, that are fixing to DM me and go, hey, what's going to go on with Finding Your Way? Again, it's Beebs, UNF Pod.
Yeah. He knows what he's doing, and breaks are very, I took one. You've taken them before. So it's just sometimes we need that space to decide what we want to do and how we want to do it. So I do,
but do you ever get to the point when you're on said break to where you're just like, hey, man, I've got to write this stuff down because I got to go over this stuff?
Yeah, I keep notes in my phone because, with my episodes, it's things that almost, I live with people who do dumb things. God, I love my family, but they're what I get my episodes out of. So I take notes because it's so much in one day. And I was excited to come back to podcasting after I took like a month and a half.
Right.
And I knew that I needed it. But then when it was time to come back, I'm like, I really missed it. So I knew I'm doing what I should do. I'm enjoying this. Until I don't enjoy it anymore, I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah, you're going to do it until you don't.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
okay.
that's what we say in this house. Yeah, we'll do it until we don't.
That's right.
Yeah, when I was on my break, I gave you an example. We've all heard the joke. I've told it like 50 times of me running into the sign that said, "Do not enter. Your GPS is wrong."
Yes, I like that one.
And
Yep.
yeah, and it's a true story. When that happened, I could not wait to get in front of somebody to tell them that.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is perfect. It's like right up my alley, and I could not wait until to tell it. And I think I've told it on about 6 different podcasts by now.
See, I think I heard it on, you were just on F My Work Life.
Yeah.
Which I can say fuck my work life because I'm not my
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yay. And, Kay and Jay are 2 of my favorite people too. And so I loved listening to you on there because I knew you would have excellent stories. So when you said you were going to go on, I was waiting for that episode. And you told it then because I think I just heard it recently. Yeah.
When we recorded that, I had like just gotten back from Tennessee.
Okay.
And it was fresh. I tell it totally different now because I've worked on it. I've told it in front of crowds. I've told it to numerous people, probably on 10 different podcasts. I think I've told it on Refiltered at least 3 different ways. And but I've worked it into kind of like a into my driving bit. But I really enjoyed. I'm glad that episode came out this week. I really enjoyed my time on Fuck My Work Life.
Oh, they're funny. I mean, I enjoyed going on there, and I actually just recorded with Jay, which I've never had just Jay on mine. I've had Kay on twice, and Jay came on, and we ventured away from the dreams and the goals that I've been doing, and he talked about the time that he would go through his work. He went to Israel and 5 times, I think he said. And he's told me little stories here and there, but I wanted a whole episode on it. And that'll come out probably November.
Well, it's a good thing he's not there right now.
It is. And I thought about rushing it. I'm like, no, we're going to wait till November because I have a schedule I have to stick to. Yeah. But, he told some very interesting stories about sides that you don't hear from just the news, but from somebody that in my case, was face to face on the StreamYard, and he was telling me stuff. So it'll be a good episode.
Sure. Let me ask you this: you brought up you have a schedule.
Yes, I do.
Okay. I was talking to somebody today that what frustrates me is that people don't. You can ask a number of people. Ask Beebs. Ask St. Joe. A number of people. I am damn difficult to nail down. I got something going on all the time.
I could see that.
Yeah. And so I was talking to somebody today, and I was like, what frustrates me is when people, and by the way, that's not me. That's our producer. That's our producer. I got. Okay, maybe it is me. Okay, you caught me. They caught me. I'm busted.
They caught you. They got you.
So
your schedule.
What frustrates me is when I think of a joke in the middle of me talking and then I just stop. No, I'm just kidding. I was telling this person what frustrates me is that people that don't move at my pace. Because I've kind of worked my schedule into where I have to like do it now because, if I don't get to see my kids all the time. So I'm constantly going back and forth between them and their moms. I'm trying to bide my next 3 years in my plan, of not having to work and do things like this full time, and comedy full time. And God willing, being an author full time.
Yeah.
If anybody buys the damn thing.
Bought the book. Thank you very much.
But you're welcome. You're welcome. People are starting to get theirs.
Yes.
They're anyhow. What I was saying is that I can appreciate you having a schedule and sticking to the schedule because that's basically how people who move all the time like me have to go. You have to have a schedule. We're constantly, me and the soon-to-be world-famous wife are constantly going back and forth with just little things. Like tonight, she was like, "Do you think you could fit it in your schedule to pick up groceries at Walmart if I order them and they just bring them out to your car?" And my answer was yes, if they're ready when I get there. If I have to wait 45 fucking minutes again, no.
Right.
And that's how tight it is, because my day shuts off when baseball comes on. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I think that I noticed that, because mine, it's not just my schedule, because, I still have one at home that is extremely busy. And I mean, and then the older one, I want to go watch his game. So my life revolves by my choice. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy with it. But when I have like days where I have nothing, I literally get nothing done, because I'm so used to my life being, I have this window to, make dinner. Well, if my window is now 4 hours, I don't start dinner because I can keep pushing it off. I live a much better life with things just in a row. Does that make sense? It's just kind of, so, like when we're having an off season, especially when everybody's home on break, because then there's usually no sports, we sit around like pathetic because we don't have to be anywhere. It's so much better for us, like productivity wise. But we all need those days where we just sit around like a bunch of slugs and watch Naked and Afraid over and over again. We've watched all of them at this point.
So that's what you're watching right now, is Naked and Afraid?
We are. My husband and I, he was on vacation not this week, but like the past week. And we've made fun of the show. Like you'd see like little commercials for it. And we're like, this is dumb. Like it makes no sense. And then we watch an episode and we realize it was not what we thought it was. Like it's two people, one episode. So you see when they get dropped off and you see if they make it. And we have gotten really obsessed. Like we're sitting there going, where are they going? My husband like, they're in Nicaragua. And we're like, oh no. And then we start talking about the plants and the stuff that's there because we've watched too many of these. But it's a fun show. I mean, just for somebody to sit there, you don't have to really think a lot. And it's just nice to, for just him and I to watch and just, laugh about. So we look for stuff like that.
So we were into that show Suits.
I've heard of that one. We've not seen that one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We watched all 9 seasons in like a week.
Oh, that's impressive. Yeah.
But we found a pseudo political show that I don't know how that got by me, called Madam Secretary.
Yes, I've heard of it. I have not seen it.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Yeah, I'm only like 4 episodes in.
Okay.
But I give everything at least the first season.
I try. Yeah.
There's people out there like Breaking Bad sucks. Well, how many have you watched? 1 episode? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, dude. Yeah. The people. The Sopranos sucks. It's too slow. No, you suck, motherfucker.
Take our TV watching serious. So.
Yeah. We alluded to it just a second ago, but
yes.
I think the people are starting to get their stupid history books.
Yes. And I have to say, what was so funny is that you texted me because I, was getting one for me. So I wanted you, of course, to sign that. But then I had ordered one for my dad and one for my father-in-law. And then my uncle, I had to do the Kindle because he's unable to,
okay.
He has ALS, so he can't hold a book. So Kindle is the best thing. And I knew he'd enjoy the book. So, but you texted me and you were like, how should I sign these other 2? And I'm like, well, one's for my dad, one's for my father-in-law. I said, please don't be too Kev-like. Because I was like, let's be careful. Well, you did an excellent job on both of them. They're both ones I can give to each of them. My dad has a really good sense of humor. Father-in-law, you just don't know. So
there's only one that I put an iffy, like an iffy inscription in, and I'll wait until it comes out on social media.
Okay.
For everybody to see. Those of you out there though that ordered a hardback rather than a paperback, it takes a tad bit longer to print the hardback.
Okay.
So the first batch of the hardbacks got to me Saturday, and I got them all out. They're on their way. If you should have received a shipping email
I
that
did.
they
I
had
did.
that they had all shipped, but they once they get the hardback, those are all on their way. The first batch, at least,
Hmm.
are on their way. This weekend, I get another shipment of stuff to sign. So I'm
That's
on my
so cool.
break of signing stuff, which is a lot. It's a lot more fun than I thought it would be because
Hmm.
I think up these like on one of them. I won't tell you who, but you could probably figure it out. On one of them, this person ordered like 7 or 8, and on one of them I put, "May the words within these pages bring you wisdom," or something like that.
Oh, I like
yeah,
it.
yeah. Or something like that.
Yeah,
But anyhow, they're out and about. If at the end of the show, we'll tell you where to get them if
definitely.
you haven't ordered yours yet. I do have some questions for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let me ask you this, and
Anytime anytime Kev starts with, let me ask you this, I'm like, oh no.
right, I got a point here.
Yeah.
Okay, now anybody that's known me for 5 minutes knows that I'm a very large Atlanta Braves fan.
Yes.
Okay. And all I ask is that if somebody's going to text me during the Braves game, that they check the score because dependent on what the score is depends on what kind of keb you get.
That's
What I'm
fair.
saying? Yeah. So earlier this evening when we were losing 4-0, it wasn't very happy. Now we got a 5-4 win.
Happy
Series tied, headed to Philly. We're all good. Anyhow, so
Before we get started, though, I'd like to, because I know that sometimes you and Beebs talk about, like, people being late and time and everything. I'd like to point out who was in the studio first.
you were
Right. And who was told to wait, even though she was in the studio first. And then she sat here drinking her White Claw and playing on her phone while she listened to you screaming, "Let's go," in the background.
okay. So it was the top of the ninth,
I get that.
and we weren't supposed to start until 9:30 anyway, which we started actually early.
No, I'm not. We did start on time. I'm just pointing out that I was early because I know it's
I
important to you.
appreciate that. I
You're welcome.
appreciate that.
I respect it.
I appreciate that. I wish everybody appreciated the timeliness, but you know what? People are learning.
Yeah.
People are learning. Do you know how long it took me to get the soon-to-be world-famous wife on the Beyond Time bandwagon?
Well, it's all in how you grow up because, like, I
Yeah.
have literally watched my in-laws show up late for a wedding, and it does not phase them. Where I grew up, where you were early, so we went to a wedding over the weekend, and I always, it sounds horrible, I tell my husband we're leaving a half an hour before we do, because he still, shows up. So if I say we're leaving at 3, then we're actually leaving at 3:30, and that's when he's ready to leave. So I've learned, but coming from how he grew up, I'm not surprised because they literally show up to everything late. So it's hard to break that habit, I think, when you grew up that way.
So my ex-wife's family was habitually late, drove me up
Hmm.
the wall to the
Yeah.
point to where I had to say something. And I would say things like you're going to be late to your own funeral, things like that. And then I
Hmm.
was like, well, I hope you're not late to your own funeral because then that means you're dead. Things of that nature.
Hmm.
But they were always habitually late. After a while, I felt that they were kind of doing it on purpose just to piss me
Hmm.
off. Which when you're kind of boisterous, is that a word?
Yeah.
Boisterous,
Boisterous.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I am, people, might be, fuck him, but I think it was very early on in the saga, which is the soon to be world famous wife and Keb, that she was like 5 minutes late, and I was just I made like a big deal about it. And she's like, I don't understand why you're making a big deal about it. It's 5 minutes. It's like, well, yeah, but next week 5 minutes turns into 15 minutes, and it's a half hour, and then it's an hour. And I'm wondering why I couldn't stay at the bar later, and just things like that. And so she would literally like change her clock, to make sure that she was on time, and she's pretty good about it now. But it was, over the course of, because what I don't get is the people who are just like, again, I do things now. I don't get the people who are like, yeah, I get around to it when I get around to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mindset. I mean, I don't like stress, and I have
Right.
so much stress in my life. Just we all do, and we all have it. So if me leaving 10 minutes early to get somewhere, so I'm 10 minutes early, that gives me 10 minutes to sit in the car or whatever to calm down or prepare whatever I'm going to do. I'll do that because it's easy. It's something I can control. I can control when I leave. And then, I can't control the traffic. So if I think there's going to be traffic, I take that into consideration. I just try to avoid stress because it's going to be there no matter what, but at least I can take that stress away.
I try to create stress for other people.
I could see you doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. I try to do that. Anyhow, back to the texting thing.
Yeah.
So you ever get somebody that wants to hold a text message conversation with you? And when I say a text message conversation with you, more than like 10 texts, and you're trying like to be like nice, but you don't want to text anymore, and you said your piece. So my question is, let me ask you this. My question is, what indicator can you give somebody who is texting you that you are finished with the text message conversation?
I think, I've had to do this before because it's usually there's somebody arguing with me because I've answered the question and they don't like the answer. So they're trying to convince me otherwise, which is not going to happen.
Right.
So usually I say, I'll just text and say, if you have any other points to make, next time we see each other, we can talk about it, but I'm done for now. And that's it. Or it's really great talking to you. Kind of like that whole, see you later, and then I just don't respond because my kids, I'll have whole conversations with, which is usually me typing and them writing okay over and over again, because that's apparently what teenage boys do. But yeah, I've had to cut off a lot of conversations because people think they can convince me through arguing. And I'm a mom. You can't convince me of crap, I said my piece, it's over, but that comes with age.
I give people, and I started doing this because of my kids. They absolutely hate this, and what I found is that their generation finds it disrespectful, and my generation just really doesn't care if if we're disrespectful to them. But I started giving them the thumbs up. That is the indicator that the Keb does not want to continue this conversation. If I give you the thumbs up,
what? I have to go back at our conversations and see if you've thumbs up me.
Everybody right now is going through their phone who I text regularly and being like, did this motherfucker give me the thumbs up? And if I really don't want to talk to you, if I really am done with the conversation, usually when I'm like watching something or I'm busy or something like that, I'll tell you this: there's one person out there. I'm not going to say who, but there's one person out there that has cracked the code. In that, if this person senses that I don't want to text back and forth, they'll just call me.
Yeah.
They've cracked that code. Now I'm good for a 5-minute conversation. I'm not good for a 30-minute conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm good for a hey, what's going on? Kind of deal. Hey, just checking in. With a certain select few people. What I'm saying? There are many people out there that call me that just get my voicemail. And then they'll text me, "Are you ignoring me?" Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I do well with like a heads up. Which is what you've done, or a lot of people have done, is just, hey, you busy right now? Because there's a time, like when I've dropped somebody off and I'm alone in the car, call me, we'll talk. Or when I get someone on the bus, because I think we talked one morning when I took someone to school. But once they're out of the car, and then I could actually focus on, what we're talking
Right.
about. But yeah, don't just call me. If you ever just call me, it'll just go to voicemail. And I don't mean, it's not because I'm ignoring. I just tend to not look at my phone when it rings unless I know someone's calling me.
Sure.
So,
And I have a tendency to like somebody will be like hello, and I'll just go into a rant. But there are certain people out there that I'll be like, "Hey, are your kids in the car?" And that's usually code for Kev's pissed.
Yeah.
And he has to get something off of his chest. But yeah, that's my indicator. And if I really want to, I'll give you the double thumbs up.
Ooh.
That means I'm really done.
Mm-hmm.
With the conversation. But what I think is funny is right now people are
Oh, yeah.
scrolling through. They're scrolling through like that motherfucker.
That's what that meant.
What do you you have teenagers? Yes.
One's going to be, if you can believe it, 21 in about a month, and then the other one's 16. So, yeah.
So I have a 16-year-old as well. I also have an 18-year-old freshman in college.
Mm-hmm.
I was asked earlier today for somebody who doesn't have teenagers, but they're about to,
Yeah.
what are some things that drive you crazy? And I said, none of them drive me crazy, but I could probably come up with some common things that happen to all teenagers. And I'm glad that others are getting into the mix because, people are like, when newborns come along and they're, oh, it's new, it's and all this. And I'm always like, yeah, talk to me in like 6 to 8 months when you haven't slept for 4 fucking days.
Yeah.
Tell me how fucking fun it is then. I said, because that's the reason I don't want another kid. I love kids. Let me back up. I love my kids. I can give a shit about anybody else's, but I generally, I generally like kids. But I don't want to go through infancy again. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? I am not changing diapers again. I'm on parole for time served. So, but they think it gets easier as they get older. Oh, look, they're 9, 10. We don't have to give them baths anymore. They're kind of self-sufficient. Hey, look, they're 11, 12. They can hold like kind of a cool conversation. They're starting to get into stuff that you can get into. You can start to let them in on some stuff that you like, watch movies and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
within reason. I mean, I wouldn't put, Natural Born Killers on for a 12-year-old, but but anyhow, and they think it gets easier. Well, wait until they start making their own fucking opinions. Wait until that happens to where, because I know a lot of parents that like to download their thoughts into their kid. Well, that doesn't necessarily work.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But but I came up with a few things here that I'm interested to hear your thoughts on.
Oh, okay.
I've probably done this a million times, reminding my kids for the 10th time to clean their room because they definitely didn't hear me the first 9 times that I yelled at them.
Uh-huh. What I love is how when you hit that 10th time and your voice has hit this like level that they heard like a couple states over, and then they look at me and they say, "Why are you so mad?" And I'm like, because this is the 10th time I've asked you. I'm like, I didn't start out yelling. I don't just scream, do this from the get-go. We've built up to that level. And you have created what you're now dealing with, which is someone who is not asking for you to, go to war. I'm asking you to bring down the dishes from your room so I can run a dishwasher. I don't think that's difficult, but yeah.
Yeah, my kids, one of their jobs is to empty the dishwasher. Not load it, empty it.
No, because loading is like Tetris. You can't. No one does that but the one person who knows how.
Yeah,
but,
hell, I'm not allowed to fucking load the dishwasher.
No, you shouldn't be allowed. There's a skill to it. No, my youngest, that's one of his jobs is he unloads it. They all have their own. We've always done that. And they're good at that. It's when I add little other things or something simple and they just look like I spoke another language. And I'm like, it's just bring in the dishes. That's all I'm asking for,
Next one is I have to do this all the time. Explaining to your teen why they can't have ice cream for breakfast, no matter how much they argue it's technically a dairy product.
Eh, I mean, I will say that the best thing is when I decided that I learned that telling them what to do, telling them what to eat, kind of going like what you said, they had to make their own decisions,
Sure.
and so they've had ice cream for breakfast. It's like if someone decides to stay up till 2 in the morning, that's on your butt. I
Yeah.
mean, you're old enough to make the decision. You're getting up at 6 o'clock for school. The end. If you go
Sure.
through a shit day at school, you're going to learn something, So, yeah, I mean, my kids, they make their own breakfast, lunch. I make dinner. And if they don't like it, they make something else. That's cool. I'm okay with that. But yeah, they've had some interesting. I mean, I have seen them eat cereal for like entire days straight, just Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And I'm like, well, if you're the one's going to suffer for that, not me. And they're old enough to decide.
Do you have what in my family we called it the mom glare?
Oh, yeah.
Where you could stop any bad behavior in its tracks with a look, and lasers probably are going to shoot from your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
That,
yeah.
that mom look.
I think that they give us that once we have the kids, along with that arm that somehow can shoot out and protect the kid from anything. I still do that. I'll do it to anybody's kids or anyone I know. The mom arm comes out. I think we just somehow, it's like after we have the child or we're given the child, if we adopt or however it happens, I think we just are downloaded with all these like little great things that, most people don't have until you have kids. Or that high octave scream. I can do that really well.
So, did you ever take the bus to school when you were a kid?
I did. Oh, yeah.
How long was that bus ride?
I guess my memory is it was forever. Like,
Yeah.
I want to say that, we were one of the first ones on. And where I grew up was country. So, I mean, the bus was going, but I could tell you this horrible bus story real quick. So where I lived, we get snow. And
Okay.
for a time period, I would have been in maybe middle school. I know I wasn't in high school yet, but we got this new guy in charge. I don't think he was the superintendent, but he was the one who was in charge of deciding whether or not we were going to have school that day. And he took pride in the fact that we never closed. We were not wusses. Our kids went to school no matter what it was doing outside. So all other districts are closing but us. So we had this particularly bad snowstorm and it was bad out. And no, we were open. Like no one was open but us. And my bus slid off the road. And so, everybody freaks out. We have my parents come because they wouldn't release us. They couldn't get another bus to us. So parents are like carpooling to pick up children because, they wanted to get their kids home. The next couple of days, the guy's house was picketed because people decided that he was the Antichrist and wanted to kill all the children in our town. We closed for about a week straight. It was like bright sunny outside and we closed. And so the joke now is that, we have a new superintendent that likes to not close school as well. So we're saying that, until there's a bus crash, we're all going to be at school. So, yeah.
At any time, because my kids like to make this joke, because I think by default, people in their mid to late 40s like to think about a quieter and easier time, where no one had a cell phone and people had to like catch you at home and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we heard the same thing from our parents, we didn't have, stuff, but the whole having to walk 10 miles uphill both ways in the snow to school every day was a story that I think derives from the baby boomers rather than Gen X, because that's like, they had, my kids laugh at some things that I say all the time, like if I'm cutting somebody off in traffic, I'll be like, hang on, and I'm not really even going that fast, and then like like my son had never been whitewater rafting before July,
Okay.
and like we would be going down these like little rapids, and I knew it was coming, and I kept telling him, I was like, "You ain't seen nothing yet," and he's like, "Dad, shut up."
Yeah, we have those sayings.
Yeah, he's like, "Dad, shut up." But they hate it when I use their sayings,
Oh yeah, yeah.
like in Star Wars. There's a character called Kylo Ren in the new what I call Disney movies of Star Wars, and I kept telling my daughter, I was like, "Man, he's emo." You know, she's like, "Do you even know what emo means?" You know, and I was like, "Yeah, I looked it up."
Yep.
You know,
I'll do that. I'll ask them if it was free, which apparently means very easy. So when my youngest comes home from school, I'll be like, "So did you take the test today?" He'll be like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Was it free?" And he'll start laughing because I used it correctly, but I guess I sound really stupid when I say it, which I know I do. But I mean, I remember my dad saying the word awesome over and over again because it was something that my age group said so much. So he
right?
would say it repeatedly just to annoy us. So I think it's what parents do. We're good at it.
You
They
remember
annoy
the
us, we annoy back.
Oh yeah, you remember the '90s? The term "all that in a bag of chips."
Chips, yes.
You know, I used to say that, and my dad would go, "What do the fucking chips have to do with anything?" Yeah,
Hmm.
you know, and then like I hate it when somebody goes, "It's fire," you know,
Yes.
and I'm like, yeah, you're that's not that fire is hot. It's on fire. That makes more sense. I mean,
That's
it's fire is not grammatical. It's not
no.
grammatically correct, and all you're doing is letting everybody know who the fucking idiot is.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
you know. So this happened probably more at 12, 13, especially when you have siblings, where you break up fights over who touched who and whose fault it
Oh.
was, you
Hmm.
know? And then did you do timeouts?
You know what? It's funny. No. And I think because mine have such an age difference that there was not a whole lot of sibling issues because
Right.
they both were in totally different things. And we are, and people can say I never spanked. I never did any of that stuff. I think it was just the threat was enough for them, but I was very big on taking things away. And they hated when I took things away because it was more of a long term, like timeouts, you sit there, you get up. I'd much rather take your DS or something like that and make you earn it back. And usually I'd make them earn it back by doing something with the sibling that they really didn't have anything in common with because that was fun for me to watch. So I'd be like, you have to go play this with your brother, like Candyland for 2 hours, and then you can have it back. And nobody was happy with that. So they tried to avoid getting in trouble.
What when we were kids, at least in my my house, it was, hey, go to your room. Right.
Hmm.
Well, now they go to the room and they got everything. You know.
That's true. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. So
Because
you got,
I didn't have a TV in my room, neither did my
yeah,
brother.
yeah,
We didn't have any gaming stuff. I mean, we had a radio,
yeah.
but that was pretty much it. Now I tell them to go to their room, they just sleep, which I totally respect. I mean, they're my kids. We nap if we can nap. So, it's like, okay, I wish someone would send me to my room. I'd be like, yeah, I'll go. That's okay. Take a nap for a couple hours, but no
Yeah.
one does it.
We didn't really do the timeout thing either. I did the get the fuck away from me,
That's fair.
kind of deal. I don't curse at my kids for those out there that are, he told them to get the fuck away from me. Yeah. But we did the whole, get out of my sight thing, go away.
Hmm.
You guys, you go that way, you go that way.
Yeah.
And sometimes we felt like we should win the Nobel Peace Prize, for
Hmm.
mediation, over conflicts and
Yeah.
sharing,
Oh, yeah.
and that. Did you ever master the art of sneaking vegetables into meals?
Oh, smoothies.
Yeah.
Smoothies, you can add, if you put, little tip for everybody, you add banana to a smoothie, it can mask pretty much anything. So
Yeah.
kale, strawberry, and banana, and you can put as much freaking kale in there as you want. As long as you have a banana in there and maybe a little yogurt, totally mask the taste of the kale.
What's the
So,
difference between kale and grass?
no clue. One cost me a shitload of money at the grocery store. I can tell you that much, and the other one doesn't. But kale, mine, oddly, they're weird. I mean, they've always loved Brussels sprouts and asparagus and all that stuff. So it was
Yeah.
never really, they go through phases.
Right.
The cereal phase lasted, and eggs. They went through an egg phase. Is your son going through the egg phase?
No. My
Okay.
son's going through if you bring a bakery, when you go to the store and you go to the bakery and they have the bakery cookies. Like we
Bakery
don't buy
cookies.
like Chips Ahoy, we get the bakery
Good
cookies.
cookie. They're good. Yes.
Yeah, and you bring them home. Well, I can't eat them because 9 times out of 10 chocolate chip, and I'm allergic to chocolate.
Yeah.
But my son, especially, who's 16, he went from 5'6" to 6'2" in the span of
Yeah.
about a day.
Yeah.
And he will eat you out of house and home.
Yeah.
But he will go after. He's big on sweets. He will go after those cookies. But he'll like ask. He'll be like, he's sneaky. He's like, "Hey man, can I have 2 cookies like that?" And I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "How about 4 cookies?"
He negotiates well.
Yeah. It's definitely his father's son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's like, how about 4 cookies? And I'll start laughing, and I say, "You have 30 seconds to eat 4 cookies, or you cannot have any more cookies until you go back to your mom's." And he'll be like, "All right, I'll go with the 2 cookies." But because like I have to explain to him for the 100th time why eating cookies before dinner will ruin his appetite.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, he's a little negotiator. Well, we can negotiate dessert after your dinner plate's clean.
Yeah.
So, and we try to be, hey, what does everybody want for dinner kind of deal. Like when I was a kid, it was, this is what we're having for dinner.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, you didn't really have a say in the matter,
That's how it was growing up at my house. And I decided that it's not that I won't make more than one meal, but I know what we'll all eat. And so that's
Right.
just, that's what I make, because my goal is for all of us to eat. So I'm not gonna be like, well, your dad and I are gonna have this. I know you hate it, so fine. No, I mean, I'll make something everybody will eat, and then everybody will eat, and it was worth my time. I hate leftovers. That's the one I hate. The fridge cannot hold a bunch of leftovers. So I try to budget things right. Except for spaghetti. I can't do that.
Spaghetti, I think, is the most common family dinner.
Yeah, we just had that the other day. Yeah.
I think it's probably the most common family dinner. So, like, kids who don't like spaghetti are like communists.
I would agree. Yeah, that's wrong. So good.
Did you at any point, this is the last one, by the way, did you at any point have to resist the urge to hide in the closet with a bowl of ice cream to escape the chaos?
Oh, gosh, yeah. Well, and they find you. I mean, and it doesn't, so I can still picture going in the bathroom to use the bathroom, and the little fingers coming under the door. Well, they still want to talk to me about Pokemon or Beyblades or whatever they were loving at the time. And I was like, I should be allowed to pee by myself. Sure. But then, then here comes my husband, and he'll be like, they've got 0-turn mowers for sale at, John Deere. And I'm like, oh my gosh. At one time he shoved the pamphlet under the door, and he's like, if you look at this, I'm like, I don't care. Just, Mom needs to pee. It's so sad.
You know what I found, and I would think this is probably common of most dads. The getaway is the bathroom, And I ain't gonna lie, the chaos has been so much. Sometimes I'll go in there and the people are trying to follow me to talk to me at the door. I just kick the fan on. They don't really bug you after that.
No.
That's like the telltale sign. I'm gonna kick the fan on. Go away.
Go away. Yeah.
But yeah, those I think a lot of people, especially parents out there, will probably be able to identify with those.
Yeah.
If they're more along. If your kid's 2, you're not. I mean, if your kid's just born, we had we keep having newborns. Me and my younger sister are considerable amount older than our cousins. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So while my kids are 1 foot out the door, their kids are very small and all this, and I love those kids because they can come over all they want because they get to go away.
That's right.
Yep. We don't have to do things like that. So I think that's
Well,
a lot
I
of
miss
things.
it. I mean, I will always say I miss it, but I was a lot younger, obviously, when I had them. I had more energy, and I like sleeping all night. No, nothing against, the grandkids that hopefully will come a long time from now. But I like the stage that we're all in right now. There's good and bad with each one. There really is.
And they say that's why you don't kill your kids, is to get grandkids.
I don't know. I mean, long time from now.
Yeah.
Not anytime soon. But
Yeah, dude, if my daughter came home and be like, "Hey, you're gonna be a grandpa," I'd be like, "Fuck, I am." Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't really have a say in the matter. The fuck, I don't.
Yeah.
It would be
Long
one
time
of
from
those. We have a little game we usually play on this program. We haven't played it in a while, but I thought this is a good idea to bring in. It's called Real or No Real. It's where I give you 5 facts, and you try to figure out which one is the fake fact.
Okay.
Okay, there's one out of these 5 that are fake.
So one's fake. All 5 are the other 4 are correct.
Are true, yes.
True. Okay.
One's fake and the other true. Now,
Okay.
everybody always asks me what the subject matter we're going to do. This is called Real or No Real, the Pedals of Support edition.
Oh shoot! Is this about advice I've given? Because
These are things on your podcast that the host should know.
Okay.
That music means you're on the clock. Let me turn that
You
down.
probably should warn someone before they got really scared for a second. It was like, where's it coming from?
Yeah. Oh, Hamas is attacking us now.
What's going on?
My soon-to-be world-famous wife was like, "Hey, don't get on the podcast tonight and start making fun of what's going on in the Middle East."
No.
Said I would never do that.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what you mean. There's no Catholics in the Middle East.
Oh, Cap.
All right,
Okay,
real or
now,
no
I'm
real?
gonna take notes because.
Oh yeah,
okay.
and you know what? This is fun because you can't really Google it.
No, I
right.
can't. So I'm gonna. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna take notes.
So the best thing to do is to listen to all 5.
Okay.
And then talk it out. There's no clock on this thing. So,
Okay.
Without further ado, Real or No Real, Pedals of Support edition. Okay. So, out of your, according to Apple Podcasts, you have published 166 episodes as of today. Did you know that? I think you're muted. Uh-oh.
Oh, there we go. No,
there we go.
I didn't hit the button right. See, this is where, in my defense, I have episodes scheduled.
Right.
Now, so when I look...
Yeah, it says you have more. I feel you because we use the same distributor.
We do, and that's what it tells me. So I'm sitting there doing the math in my head, thinking, how many do I have scheduled?
Right.
So I
Well,
can
published, you have
uh-huh.
166. I feel you on that thing because I do this podcast called the Stupid History Minute where I
You do.
upload 30 in advance.
Exactly. And that's
You
what
know?
it tells me. So I'm sitting there going, what? That's why I don't think this is right.
Okay, anyhow.
Okay, go on.
So out of what they say is 166, these 5 facts, again, one of them is not true, but I think I throw you a twist.
I thought that was one of the questions. And
No,
I was
that's
like
not
doing
one
the
of the
math in my
questions.
head going, I don't
No, that's
know.
not one of the questions.
Oh,
All
my
right,
geez,
so
it sucks.
I'm going to read all 5.
Okay.
You tell me which one's fake, okay?
Okay, go for it.
Number 1, Fear, Steps, and New Things is the title of the very first episode. Number 2, you have an episode on sex. Number 3, an unfiltered sleepover was the first sleepover episode. Number 4, there are 5 life hacks episodes. And number 5, you have 6 episodes that you re-released.
Okay.
Which one is the fake one? And I'll tell you, the answer may surprise you.
Surprise you. Well, it's going to surprise me because I don't know. So I'm going to be surprised. Not difficult to do. Okay. I know number 2 is true because I've actually done a couple episodes on sex. They
Okay.
might not have been titled sex. I think I had one called Funky Town. I've had a sextortion one.
You also have one called Sexy Talk Time.
I probably do. Because I
No,
try to be,
that's a fact. You do.
that's a fact. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I know number 2 is a fact.
Yeah,
I know that
okay.
one. The first one, I'm pretty sure is true because I mean, technically, I had a trailer first, but that's not a real episode.
Right.
So I think the first one, because it's when I talked about, I recorded it in the dining room back when I didn't understand anything about sound or editing or anything. So it's rough, but it was talking about starting a podcast, which is something I didn't know anything about. So I think number 1 is true.
Okay.
Number 3, I'm having a problem with because you were one of my first guests, but I'm pretty sure before you was Courtney from Nefarious Nightmare. But I don't know if because she actually recorded with me, helped me edit and everything. And I thought that was her and I, unless we were just messing around. And that was just on Audacity, and she was trying to teach me how to do Audacity because Courtney from Nefarious Nightmare, I owe quite a bit to because I didn't know anything. 4, I swear I have more than 5 life hacks. So that one I'm confused about. And number 6, or the 5th one, I did re-release a bunch. 6 could be the correct number. I couldn't even tell you, but I think it was 6. So I'm stuck on 3 and 4 as which one is not correct.
Okay.
Do I have it narrowed? Do I get a clue? Do I have it narrowed down right?
No clues on this program, but I will tell you that Fear, Steps, and New Things is the title of your first episode.
Okay, yes.
We already talked about number 2. You do
Yeah.
have an episode on sex called
Yeah.
Sexy Talk Time.
I love some of this. It's so hard making titles sometimes, you know?
Sure.
And so, yes.
Sure. And you do have 6 episodes that you re-released.
Okay, so
Those 3 are facts. So yeah, you've
Okay.
nailed it down to 3 or 4.
I am going to honestly say that I think the false... Oh, jeez. Because I just remember recording with Courtney. And that would have been before you. Because you were my first by myself after talking. So I'm going to have to say that number 3 is false. Because I think you were the second one after Courtney taught me how to do everything. And you were the one I did all by myself. Edited and everything. I was super proud of myself. So, am I right?
Is that your final answer?
That
and
is
let
my
me remind you
Yeah.
that the answer may surprise you.
No, it's totally, Yeah, because I'm guessing. So I say number 3 is false.
All right. Computer. Is number 3 false?
Yay!
An Unfiltered Sleepover was the second sleepover episode. The first one was a nefarious sleepover.
Yes, but
You know,
but it was the first one I did totally by myself. Was with you. I did all the editing, everything. So it's special because I had no help.
and I looked for more life hacks episodes. I could only find 5.
You know, the thing is who knows what I decided to rename them to, because I have
Right.
been known to do that because
But you have like life hacks part 1, part 2, and then 10 weeks will go by, and then you'll have part 3.
Yeah, because it's the random things. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm sure that's how I have it labeled. It's just, what was I doing? Did I change it to something else, or did I kind of give it a title? So I will agree with you. Since you looked it up, you did your research.
I did.
Yes.
I did it. It took it. You know, I don't know if you want to call it research. It's bring it up Apple Podcasts and be like, okay, I don't know about that, but
Well, and I had fun having you on. That was, I mean, it's special. I've said that because I joined some groups and they talk about like, how do you pick your sleepover guests? You're not sleepover, but just like guests for things. And I said, starting out, they were my friends because it was just more comfortable. It was still scary. I remember being so scared talking with you. And then I talked to Jay, and it was just scary to be the host for once instead of just being the guest. But you guys gave me the confidence to do, have all sorts of people on now. So
yeah, and then now you're like the go-to. Everybody knows what the sleepover episodes are.
I have fun with those. I have fun. I've had a whole bunch of different people, so it's been fun.
Yeah. So, if you're out there listening and you think that you're interesting enough to have a sleepover episode, I'm quite certain that you could contact pedals.s@aol.com and beg and plead your case. And maybe
there's like an essay I'm doing now. You have to do an essay, and then there is the song portion.
Right.
A song about me.
Don't forget the 50 question multiple choice quiz that you have to take with Scantron.
That's right. So there's a little delay in returning, but it gets great. It gets graded.
It's right there with the hardback copies of the Stupid History book.
That's right. They come together.
No,
I'm always looking for guests. I just got somebody today actually that asked if, and we're going to record on Friday because I actually had Friday free. So I'm always looking for people. We're doing dreams and goals right now. So if you have a story to share, I would love to hear it.
Cool. And if you're listening to this program and you want to be a guest host on this program, if you dare, because as nice as I can be, if you come up in here with your Catholic propaganda, that is that shit. It's just not going to fly up in this shit. Yeah. If you come up here talking about, I don't know.
I don't know anymore.
I got this question the other day, out in real life, not here in listener land, but, somebody said something about a rosary bead and I got triggered, and so I'm going off, just going down the greatest hits, of the Catholic jokes. And finally this guy's like, why do you hate Catholics so much? And I said, for the millionth time, I don't have a problem with Catholics. For the record, I have a problem with fucking little boys. You know what I'm saying? So, anyhow, so that's kind of
as we all do, Kev. It's not something we all,
Yeah, but
none of us think that's good.
Some of us speak at it at length,
That's true.
and and some people may say it's beating a dead horse, But anyhow, if you're out there and you dare, shoot me. I'm at Kev Lives on Twitter or at Stupid Minute or at Refilter Pod, or you can email me if you can figure it out. But Hey, we need to do the rundown here real quick.
Yes, yes.
So on Mondays we have nailed it. You happen to listen to that this week yet?
No, not yet. I
Okay,
had a long day, but it's in the queue to listen to. I saw it was
gotcha.
something on Cars.
Yes, yes. He goes through the many cards of the different movies and TV shows,
Oh,
and you know what? It'll surprise you what's number one. I mean, it didn't surprise me because I knew what it was already. But it will surprise the normal. I would gather that many people would think the number one car would either be James Bond's car or like Eleanor or something like that.
What about
Yeah,
the one that Kit? Was it Kit?
yeah, that's actually number two.
Okay, because
Yeah,
I know
Kit.
that one.
Oh, and by the way, St. Joe, your little trivia question, I got it right. I'm like screaming in the car, Knight Industries 2000. And then when they remade it into a Mustang in like 2009 or whatever, they called it Knight Industry 3000. So,
Eh?
Yeah, I
By the
love
oh,
Knight
I
Rider. It's like
heard
one of my favorite shows.
you said Mustang's your favorite car.
It
That's what
is.
we bought my oldest. So that's
Oh,
what
yeah?
he earned it. Don't get me wrong, he earned it,
Okay.
but that's what he has.
Like a
So,
new one?
um 2016,
Okay.
2017, something like that. So no, I mean it wasn't new when we got it. But it had the pony package. So the reason I liked it, because I mean you can sell me anything if you make it like glittery or special, was they opened the door and it puts a Mustang picture on the ground, and I'm like, yeah, that's wrap that up. That's what we're getting. So
My best friend bought his wife a Volkswagen Atlas.
mm.
And when she opens the car door, it puts the Volkswagen thing on the ground.
It's really, I mean, it's special,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
I'm driving around in a sports flex. So I
Yeah.
mean, but I love my car.
Yeah. I love mine too. I have a small SUV, so
Hmm.
lets me cart around my ladder,
Yeah.
and things like that. So that's on Monday. On
Yes.
Mondays,
Sorry
is
about
Nailed It
that.
with St. Joe.
Yeah.
On Tuesdays comes the ever loving Pedals of Support.
It's me.
And then on weeks that you have a sleepover, it's typically Tuesday and Thursday.
And Thursday, yes, yes. So this
But
week
if
it's just Tuesday because I was sick and could not create two solos. I didn't have it in me. But next week we'll go back to Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay. On Wednesdays is this program along with
No,
now
you
just
forgot. You forgot a
uh,
Tuesday. I
oh, I
think.
did. I apologize. Yes,
Ah,
I did. The
yes.
brand new member of Unfiltered Studios, the Sleevy G Show, Alex
Yay.
Gomez. He's on Tuesdays as well, and I would classify his podcast as an interview podcast. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything. He's
Mm-hmm.
funny. They talk movies, talk a lot of music.
Mm-hmm.
He's got great guests on there. I mean, he had me.
Oh
He,
yeah.
he had Frank the Tank from Barstool Sports, and then he even had a player from the WNBA on. He's had Emmy Award winners on his show. I mean, it's a great show. If you don't check it out, you're a fucking idiot. And just sorry.
It's, I don't
Just
know why I thought I'd come on here and just be like, Mama D's on, but no.
so please go check out the Sleevy G Show. Check out Pedal Support both on Tuesdays.
Yes.
Which happens to be by the time this program comes out yesterday.
Right.
So on Wednesdays you have Hypno Wellness, which I just learned today is just going to be on Wednesdays from now.
I saw that, yes.
And you
Which I
have
had noticed because I was listening and I never caught on, I think because I listened to so many. But yes, she is just Wednesday now.
and you have this nonsense, this program here that may or may not be idiocy at its best. On Thursdays now, you just have Finding Your Way this week because there's no Pedals of Support, but when
Right.
there's a sleepover, there's Pedals of Support.
Yes.
Like, even if you don't have a sleepover, are you going to do 2 a week?
Yes, yeah, this was just a bad week because I was sick. So usually I'm a 2 episode a week unless something happens like illness. So Tuesdays and Thursdays me.
And Finding Your Way is a program that if you've lost your spiritual way, he'll help you find it.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Go to BeebsUNFPod or BeebsUNFPod on Twitter and just say, hey, we want more of the Book of Job. Yeah, we want more Book of Job. But no, it's a great podcast. I've listened to of all these. I got catch up on a few, but his is relatively new. And I listen to it every week, and that's me, the cynic, the guy over here, that's me. And sometimes basically when Beebs wants to make a point about something you shouldn't do, he brings up something that I do.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I love you, Beebs.
Well, and they're nice short episodes, which is, I mean, not short, but I know I like episodes that are sometimes that half hour or so, and this can be a little bit longer, but they're always like you can listen to him in a car ride or when you're doing stuff, and he does a really good job.
Well, short episodes, they give you no reason not to listen, kind of like the Stupid History Minute. Which is available every day.
That's right.
And we haven't taken a break in a long time on the Stupid History Minute. We're going strong. Yeah, we're going strong. And the Stupid History Minute is out every day. You can find it wherever you download a podcast. It's but you can listen to the whole week on Friday.
That's right.
Right after they listen to our good friends over at the Two Penny Podcast.
Don't forget Mike and Jay. Yes.
Yeah, and I find it funny because, like on Nailed It and other programs, they always say about the Two Penny that hey, it's a little, it can be a little iffy, it can be a little that. But I find it very funny with me over here calling people fucking idiots that I say that about. They don't bother me one bit.
They're not. Well, I think the worst episode that I've ever listened to, or the most shocking, was actually when it was you, Jay, Beebs, and St. Joe, and you did that one. You know which episode I'm talking about. I don't know what the title was.
Was it the one about the Brazilianaires Club?
That might have been it. It was like a lot in a short period of time, and I was putting in laundry, and I ended up just sitting on the ground listening to it in complete shock that I was listening to. And that was all thanks to Jay, if I do remember correctly. So, yeah, a lot of information.
I find the Two Penny highly entertaining. We're recording this on a Monday night, and they're probably done with their YouTube thing, so I didn't get to tune in this week. So they're probably texting me going, hey, what the fuck? They're not. Anyhow, but that's Rundown Unfiltered Studios. Again, we want to welcome our newest member, Alex Gomez, in the Sleevy G show. Yay. I cannot express to you how entertaining of a show it is. It's kind of like this. It's just a chat.
Yes. He is a super nice, supportive person. Yeah. So if you're looking to be a guest or, just want to know that what you're listening to comes from somebody that's really, really just a nice guy, he is. He really, truly is.
Yeah. So, and everybody at Unfiltered Studios,
we are.
Except for yours truly, is nice.
Once you get through the hard Keb cover, you are a nice guy.
Shh, you're giving away my secrets.
I know Mr. DeKeb is actually a nice guy.
Giving away my secrets, I did go to religious school for 8 years. That's what my problem is. Anyhow. But thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
I thought this was fun. We're gonna do a new guest host every week, for the foreseeable future, and see how that goes. But why don't you tell people where they can find you and listen to you and all that good stuff real quick?
Okay, well, available on all the listening platforms. It's Petals of Support. As we said, Tuesdays and Thursdays sleepover episodes are longer and they're with a guest. And solo episodes are usually about 20 minutes. And it's just advice from a mom. It's not mom advice or parenting advice. It's just advice that I give my kids or my friends or my family. I'm looking for topics or questions right now. So you can find me on X and Threads, TikTok, and Instagram, all at Petals of Support. So you can message me that way, or you can email me at petals.s@aol.com. If you're looking to be a guest, I would love to talk to you. Or if you enjoy my episode as well as Refiltered, 5 stars is free way to support us, as well as liking and sharing our episodes. Very simple. Free
Excellent.
is good. Yeah.
So one thing that we got to do before we get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one thing that we got to do is I wonder if you have heard the new Billboard Top 100 hit.
I don't know. No, probably not.
This is a good way to end.
Okay.
Because we were talking about like irritating our kids earlier and stuff like that. This really irritates mine.
Okay.
Okay.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. With the
It's so catchy.
To get that honey sauce.
Yeah. No, you haven't heard that?
I have heard it, and I'm actually picturing the woman doing the dancing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, for Mama D, my name is the Keb. Beebs will be back. I don't know.
We miss you,
but,
Beeb.
yeah, we do. We miss, for one more time. Hey, Beebs. For Mama D and Petals of Support, my name's the Keb. We'll catch you guys next week.
Bye.
This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.